What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Lovers, where we talk all things sports. One thing today, City is going to the semifinals of the Champions League, playing Real Madrid. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be a even matchup. Probably should have been a final matchup. They should have put City on the other side of the bracket. But regardless, today we're hopping into my 2023 NFL mock draft, round one. We're about a week away from the NFL draft, so here's my predictions for the NFL draft. But first, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Again, you missed last night's announcement. We're doing a basketball tournament over the summer, and it's going to be pretty fun. About 21 people in there so far, trying to get more. But that's the announcement there. We'll do a live stream to reveal the matchups and times and stuff later. But let's hop into my my NFL mock draft. My mock draft for round one. Alright, so number one, the Panthers. I think they're taking Bryce Young. I think it's obvious who they're going to take at this point. Canceled all his pre-draft visits for a reason. I think they're going with Bryce Young, as much as I hate to admit that. But I think they are going with Bryce Young. Number two, the Texans. I think they're going with C.J. Stroud. Again, they need a quarterback. They're trying to rebuild that entire offense and defense. They're trying to rebuild that entire team. So they're going to have a lot of rookies, but I think if they get C.J. Stroud, that's a good building block around C.J. Stroud. I think they take C.J. Stroud at number two. Moving to number three, the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going through these quick. I think they're taking Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, that edge rusher. They need somebody on the defense to give them that push, that edge, no pun intended right there. They need somebody on the defense to do that. I think Will Anderson will do that. They have a quarterback, so in Kyler Murray, which I think he has yet to prove himself, which he will this season. That's my hot take for the season. But I expect Kyler Murray or the Cardinals to take Will Anderson Jr. I think it's pretty obvious there. Moving on to number four, the Colts. I think they're going to take Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is a playmaker. He's big. He can body anybody. They need a quarterback, and that's their reasoning for that. I think that they will take Anthony Richardson. Sorry, I just drew a blank there for a second. But they will take Anthony Richardson with their number four pick right there. Number five, moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. I think they will take defensive lineman Jalen Carter out of Georgia. We don't know. Is he going to court? I'm not sure if he's going to court or not. But regardless, I think he's going to be an amazing defensive lineman for the Seahawks. The Seahawks need some good players on defense. They obviously have their quarterback in the future, Geno Smith, for a few years. So they'll work around Geno Smith for the time being. But I think they will take Jalen Carter out of Georgia. Moving on, the Texans via Detroit are going to take Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. I don't know who that is, but I'm going to go ahead and say that they are. I'm just going off a mock draft and changing a few things up. But I am expecting them to do that because they need a defensive player, and they just got C.J. Stroud if my pick turns out to be right, like everybody else. Moving on to the Raiders, I'm going to have them go with Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the country. He plays really good defense. He is one of the best in the country. He started a lot of games for Oregon. He was great for those few games that Bo Nix went off as well. But I expect the Raiders to take him. He is a great athletic player on the defensive side of the ball. He can make plays. He can throw picks. Or he can pick off quarterbacks. I think that's what you need. And a rookie cornerback for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think they go with him with the 7th pick in the draft. Moving on to the Falcons. I think they'll take that wide receiver. This is a hot take for me. I think they'll take that wide receiver out of Tennessee who Hendon Hooker threw to. I can't remember his name. But they don't need a quarterback. They have Desmond Ridder. And two, they need another offensive weapon. So why not draft that guy out of Tennessee who did put up 1,000 yards, I want to say. I just can't think of the name right now who Hendon Hooker connected to. I think that they will pick him. I think that would be a good pickup for the Atlanta Falcons. Moving on to the Chicago Bears. I think they will take offensive tackle Peter Skorzski out of Northwestern. I think it's very likely that they will. Again, don't know too much going off of mock draft so far, but I think they will. Moving on to the Eagles as an edge rusher, I think they will. Or the Eagles at number 10, they'll take edge rusher Lucas Van Ness I believe that's how you say his name, out of Iowa. I think that's going to happen there. Number 11. This is tough for me because it's the Titans. I don't think they need a quarterback. So I'm going to have them take edge rusher Nolan Smith out of Georgia. He was he played alongside of Jalen Carter, and that defense, that Georgia defense was amazing, by the way. I'm an SEC boy, so obviously I know a lot about that. That was a great thing to watch. I think they'll take him at number 11. Moving on to number 12, it's the Texans again. Texans have like 3 or 4 first-round picks, which is crazy to me. I think they will go ahead and take they will take wide receiver Jason Smith. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name because I might screw it up and say a bad word. But out of Ohio State, that really, really good Ohio State wide receiver too. He is also really good as well. So they got that duo just like the Bengals did. Maybe they will be good in a couple years. Hint, hint, wink, wink there. Maybe that's a script planning for the NFL right here, right now. You never know. Moving on to number 13, the New York Jets, and I think if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, I think they will take Will Levis. Here's my reasoning for that, is because I really don't see them needing anything else. Their defense is solid. Their weapons are pretty good. It's just their quarterback. So if they don't get Rodgers over this offseason, they're taking Will Levis in the draft. I think he'll fall that low, but all 4 will go in the first round. That's my reasoning there. Number 14 is the Pittsburgh Steelers via the New England Patriots after that trade last year, I want to say. They're taking Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. I don't really know much about that. Moving on, the Packers are going to take a tight end here in this first round, Dalton Kanika out of Utah. Washington Commanders are going to take Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. I think that's a good pickup for them. The offensive tackle who protected Hendon Hooker last year. I expect that to continue this year as well, as they would probably take him in the first round. Moving on, the New England Patriots via Pittsburgh. Cornerback Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois. This kid is really, really solid. I like him as an athletic player ability. I think he will go in the first round to the Patriots. I like that pick by the Patriots in this mock draft that I'm looking at. So I'm going to stick with it and predict that he will also go there as well. Moving on, the Detroit Lions are going to pick up Joey Porter Jr., cornerback out of Penn State. That's probably a given. The Lions do need some defensive players who can make plays. And I watched him play against Auburn, and he looked really, really good. So expect that to continue this next week in the draft. Moving on is the Bucks, and they will go with Myles Murphy out of Clemson. Moving on to the Seahawks, they will go with a wide receiver this time, Zay Flowers out of Boston College. This kid is really good. I expect him to get picked here because he is good, and the Seahawks do need another wide receiver to pair up with Tyler Lockett. So there you go. That's their wide receiver 1-2 right there, I think. Moving on is the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think they will select Bijan Robinson out of Texas. This kid is very athletic. It's a given that he will go in the first round. Just to what team? And the Chargers do need a running back after what happened with Keenan Allen. So expect them to take Bijan Robinson here with the number 21st pick in the NFL draft. Moving on, the Baltimore Ravens. This one is kind of tough because this mock draft says that they will take Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee. I don't see that happening if Lamar stays. If he doesn't, then yes, they will take Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee for that reason. So I'm sticking with it and saying that they will take Hendon Hooker. Lamar might become a free agent, and they may sign Cam, so who knows about that. Moving on, the Minnesota Vikings are going to take Jordan Addison out of USC, the wide receiver who's really good. Moving on, the Jags will take Brian Branch out of Alabama. The New York Giants will take blah, 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 blah. And that is pretty much it. I'm not going to do the entire mock draft because obviously that's going to be a long video and I don't really know about these players. But that's pretty much it for my mock draft of 2023. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Again, the announcement about the basketball tournament is coming soon. Stick around for that as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.